Top focus this Saturday is on the union budget presented by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley in Parliament today. The first full-year budget of the Modi government left income tax slabs for individual taxpayers unchanged, but the 2% hike in service tax means that you will have to shell out more for almost everything. Our managing editor Rahul Kawal explores how the budget will affect your shopping cart.
The pundits have been obsessing about the macroeconomy numbers, but what we are more interested in is how Arun Jaitley's budget for 2015 impacts you, the Aam Aadmi. And what we've done is we've been out shopping the whole day here at the Big Bazaar, and we've put together these 5 trolleys that have all the products that will see a change in pricing. We've got very good experts joining us to help decode and explain what the impact will be on your wallet. That's our primary and in fact only interest. I want to begin by introducing first Saloni Roy. She's in that lovely green sari. She's a partner at Deloitte Consultancy. She's an expert on indirect taxes. Then there's Shweta Punj. Shweta Punj is my colleague from Business Today magazine, ace business journalist. With us right next to her is Ajay Veer Jakar. He's the chairman of the Bharatiya Krishak Samaj. He doesn't look like one, but he is a farmer, and he promises us that he spends 14 days every single month in a farm. Then there's Sushma Ramachandran. She is a senior journalist, writes on macroeconomy and consumer issues. Also with us at this time is Ashim Sanyal. He's the chief operating officer of Jago Grahak Jago, Consumer Voice. Thank you all very much for joining us. So let me come first to the first trolley that Saloni has over here, and this has different products. So let's start with aerated drinks, Coke, Pepsi. What's the impact in the budget, ma'am?
Rahul, Coke, the prices are going to go up. You recall even the first budget that was announced by Mr. Jaitley in July. At that point also there was an increase.
He doesn't seem to drink much aerated drinks. So you're saying all kinds of aerated drinks, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Coke,
and mineral water as well. So all these are going to be increased from 12% to 18%.
So how much would that be on a regular bottle of, say, Coca-Cola? This bottle, just give me a moment. If it were for, where does it say what's the price? If this bottle were for 50 bucks, how much is it going to be for? As a broad idea?
Probably around, there's a 6% increase. So there will be a 6% increase on this price.
Okay. After this, let's come to processed food items. Whether it's juices, apart from juices, it could also be, say, a slice or a tomato ketchup, biscuits, chips. What has the finance minister done about these processed food items?
So there have been certain service tax exemptions for the processed food industry. So that should actually translate into reduction in costs for this industry which manufactures the processed foods. So that should result in a reduction in the prices of these products. But whether those reductions will be passed on to the consumer.
So is it a minor reduction or a significant reduction?
It's a 12%, actually 14% now with the rate of service tax going up to 14, and possibly even 16% because we know that there's a Swachh Bharat cess, an additional 2% cess which is also being proposed.
So they've removed the education cess and they've put a Swachh Bharat cess.
So what they've done is with the education cess and the higher education cess, they've actually subsumed it within the tax rates of excise as well as service tax. So the service tax rate is now 14%. It was 12 and it was 0.36 because of the cesses. And similarly for excise, it's gone from 12 and the cesses were 0.36. It's become 12.5. So the excise rate is now 12.5 and there are no education cesses. And similarly for service tax, there's no cesses. It's just gone up to 14.
Okay.
There may be an additional 2% for.
So Shweta, let's come to shoes now. All kinds of leather shoes have been impacted by this budget. Tell our viewers how.
Right. So leather shoes are going to get cheaper. Leather shoes above 1,000 rupees. Besides that, let me tell you the things that will get more expensive. Going to an amusement park, it has come under the service tax purview now, so that's going to be expensive. Going to a bowling alley or a concert, that's going to be expensive. Then your electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles are going to get cheaper. Commercial vehicles are going to get expensive, which means tractors and trucks. These are the vehicles that are going to get more expensive. peanut butter, which we could not find here, but that's going to be more expensive. And
Why would he change taxing on peanut butter?
I don't know. It's specifically mentioned, and that's what we were discussing. Ajay and I were talking about it too. Specifically, peanut butter has been mentioned.
Budgets and their quirks.
Right, and tariff rate on iron and steel has gone up, and copper wire, excise duty on copper wire and alloys has come down. So that would mean maybe solar lamps. That's going to get a push. Solar panels. That's what's going to get a push. But I'm a little surprised about the iron and steel bit, because they've increased it from 10% to 15%. And iron and steel are so important in the manufacturing of pretty much everything. Your air conditioners, your buses, everything. So I don't know how that's going to pan out.
Okay. Ajay Vijayakar, I want to focus with you on farming products. The finance minister is being criticized. It's being said that he hasn't focused enough on farming. Will the vegetables that land up at the vendor niche, the thelawala below our houses, are they becoming cheaper or more expensive?
I think so. He's given a roadmap for a long-term vision by a national unified market created for agriculture commodities. He's also put in some sort of a better system for futures market for commodidities. So I think.
So how does a unified market impact me, the consumer? How is it different if you have a national farm output market as opposed to the way things exist right now?
Because it will allow farmers to sell to whoever they want to sell to, and it allowed more competition for our produce. So I think so it's going to have very good long-term consequences of reducing prices for consumers and getting farmers a better price. Coming back to food processing, as was said, that they've given service tax incentives to the food processing sector. See, the industry has been given incentives. Will they transfer those incentives to farmers or to consumers? That's open to question.
Okay, Saloni, that's a key point. The fact that wherever taxes have been changed, there's no guarantee that if the taxes have actually been brought down, that this benefit will be passed on to the consumer. The companies could well pocket it.
Or to farmers.
Or to farmers.
So that's always the case. Whenever there is a reduction in tax rates, so that we'll have to wait and watch.
Ma'am, this seems to be a rather anti-good times budget, anti-achhe din for the consumer budget, because whether it's going out watching movies, whether it's eating food at restaurants, the finance minister has made all of that more expensive.
Well, yes, if you look just at the service tax aspect, but if you look at the macro aspect, they have brought down corporate taxes, and though they have got rid of the exemptions,
Will that feed the notion that this is a government that's more pro-corporates than it is pro-Aam Aadmi, or do you think that's something that is necessary to try and increase the Make in India?
Well, I think it is absolutely necessary at this stage. As Mr. Jaitley himself says, we have to align ourselves with the international regime, and we have to make ourselves competitive with the rest of the world. So coming back to the consumer aspect, if corporates do get these tax exemptions, if they are able to manufacture more easily and they are able to manufacture more, so maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, you should expect that prices will come down. So this will have a disinflationary effect on the economy. So,
but Shweta, when taxes haven't been changed when it comes to personal income tax, and yet corporate taxes have been brought down, while this is a pressing demand by corporates, will it play to the public and political perception that this government isn't doing enough for the real Aam Aadmi and seems to be doing more for corporates? Is that an unfair suggestion, or is that a valid suggestion?
So I think the speech given by the finance minister today and Prime Minister Modi's address yesterday really says a lot and tries to dispel that notion that BJP is an anti-poor party, because we heard the Prime Minister say that yesterday, that we are a pro-poor party. Besides that, we have to remember that this is the government that's come out with a universal social security net. This is happening for the first time in India. It's a huge game changer. You have a pension scheme now, which is again, like the finance minister pointed out, that India has been an unpensioned country so far, and now we are going to have a system in place where pensions are given. So I think they're addressing very basic, very structural issues, which will show yields about 4 or 5 years from now. So by the time this government finishes its first 5 years, we're going to see some, tangible improvement on ground. Very few of these measures have very short-term gains, and I think that was the goal behind the budget also, to present a long-term vision. It's an incremental budget. There are no big bang reforms that have been announced, because One would have hoped that agriculture income would have come under the tax net. That's not happened.
The farmers would throw a big fit if that were to happen.
But
why would rich farmers? Do you pay income tax as a farmer?
I pay income tax.
But you're a farmer, so how do you pay income
I don't think agricultural income tax, to intervene. I said I don't think agricultural income tax reduction has ever been on the table for any government.
Right, so we didn't
even expect it, I think.
Subsidies either, though the government has introduced.
No, land acquisition and then you tax farming income. The finance minister has had it. There'll be all kinds of...
There are many ways that the government can tax farmers. When you don't allow us to export our produce, you say no export of onions, no export of rice, no export of wheat. You know, that's indirect taxation that you do on farmers.
I want to return to our shopping basket, and I want Saloni to explain on all these are garbage bags, plastic garbage bags, but all kinds of plastic has been made more expensive, ma'am.
So yes, plastic bags have been made more expensive, some types, but those which are not for industrial use. So yes, these would be more expensive.
So how much, if as a percentage, roughly?
Around 6% more expensive.
So it's a disincentive to try and use plastic.
Plastic, exactly.
Also, when it comes to cigarettes, when it comes to gutka, tambaku, tobacco, all these products have been made expensive yet again.
Correct. So cigarettes have been increased from between 15 to 25%. So that's the margin that of increase in rate. So you can expect, people who smoke to have to shell out more for their cigarette packets.
Okay, let's look at tablets. So there's tablets and there's tablets. What's the change?
So tablets have been given a facility to use a concessional scheme of paying excise duty. So there's a possibility of reduction in the excise duty on tablets, and
so you're saying tablets are becoming cheaper? As a percentage, roughly by how much?
Possibly 11%, because 12.
And what about these smart cards? All these credit cards, the SIMs that go into our phones.
Correct. So smart cards, the inputs for smart cards, the excise duty on those have been reduced. So therefore the price of these smart cards should come down.
Okay, Ashim, as someone who looks at consumer issues very closely, is this a pro-consumer budget or is this not a pro-consumer budget?
It's a very confusing budget, Rahul, actually, to be frankly speaking. Let's look at the macro level. A straightaway increase of service tax and the introduction of GST. Both are going to hike the prices by at least 4 to 5% in any case. For a common consumer, this is a detriment in the short run, but somebody just mentioned it's a long-term budget. I agree with my panelists that it's a long-term, long-haul thing. When you introduce systems like social reforms in terms of pension schemes and all, the finance minister has to look at the short-term this benefit to the consumers. As a consumer activist, I would say that most of the people are going to be affected immediately in the next couple of months in terms of an increase of percentage in terms of.
So how much do you see household monthly budgets going up?
4.5 to 5% for sure. In fact, despite all this excise duty benefits given to the industry, because we know that most of it is not going to be passed on to the thing, and it looks to be a very pro-industry budget. I think industrialists will be very happy, which is a good sign. I'm not saying it's bad for the consumer, but on the other hand, Rahul, unless you have a demand, what is the use of Make in India kind of a thing?
Ma'am, do you share that assessment that it's more a pro-corporate budget than a pro-middle class or pro-Aam Aadmi budget?
No, not really. I wouldn't say that. Even though he has raised the service tax, which I do understand is going to push up prices. I think he's given, in terms of tax concessions, he's given a lot to the middle classes. And of course, as Shweta pointed out, that the whole aspect of social security, there's a huge, tremendous package there. And it depends on the implementation. But I think it's the first time that we're moving towards this very ideal of universal social security, insurance for the aged, for accident insurance, health, and then, as I said, the package for the middle class. So I don't think it's completely corporate oriented.
Also, Shweta, all kinds of insurance policies that people buy, going out to a salon, getting a haircut, all of that becoming more expensive?
Yeah, all
services. Is there
services.
a sense of by how much?
A lot of the services that we use are going to be more expensive. It'll be difficult for me to hazard a guess by how much, but easily about 5%.
But what's the logic behind making services more expensive?
So again, it comes down to revenues. Now, government has only 3 or 4 avenues for revenues. Corporate tax is one, second is service tax. So corporate tax, they've already slashed it by 5%. but they're making up for it by doing away with exemptions. So it equals out there. Now, service tax, there has been a long-standing demand that, you need to increase service tax, you need to increase the base, you need to tax more services, bring more services into the tax net. So this is a logical progression in that service tax.
But Ashim, would that not have been a better idea to try and expand the service tax base by taxing more services as opposed to increasing the taxes on the services that are already taxed?
See, there are rationals in terms of levying service tax. For example, if I was the finance minister, probably I would have taxed the online purchases, which is right now going scot-free. There's no mention of that in that e-commerce portal, in fact, where you're doing thousands of crores of business. So there should be incentives and there should be disincentives. When you are paying tax as a whole, where there's no change in tax slabs, you're actually targeting by any percentage increase, you're actually hitting the middle class very badly, and you're hitting the lower middle class even worse.
Okay, Saloni, when it comes to processed food items, through the incentives that have been offered by the finance minister, who benefits? Is it the consumer who benefits, or is it the farmer who benefits?
It's actually the manufacturer or the person who's actually making the processed food, because it is the services that he's using that are getting exempt under the new service tax provisions. So the producer and then ultimately the consumer, if those tax benefits are passed on.
So that's...
I think it's a win-win situation for everyone. Service tax exemption on food processing is a win-win situation for everyone. Because there's a lot of produce that the farmers have that doesn't look good, but it's very healthy, it's edible, and it's good to eat. But consumers don't buy it because it has scratches on it, or it's a little, it's not the best looking fruit. So that does not get value as a table top fruit. And with incentives to food processing, there will be a value for that food. So the farmers' profits increase accordingly.
Okay.
And also with food processing, the fluctuation in prices could be offset. So you could have dehydrated onions when the onion prices go up. You could have tomato paste when tomato prices go up. So it helps in controlling spikes in food inflation and food price rise. So I think it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Okay.
It's a long-term vision.
This has been very interesting to try and break away from the standard format of budget broadcasts, to have all of you over here to explain to our viewers what impact this budget has, because frankly Shweta loves those budget numbers, but most people are more interested in what impact it has on your wallet, and that I think is something that you really helped us do. So thank you all very much for joining us here at the Big Bazaar. Thank you.